All right. What's up, guys? Steven back in the WooWo studio, and today I get to talk to you about something I've been testing out for the last couple months, and Sig finally released the Zulu 6 HDX Pros. This is Sig's third generation of image stabilized binos, and long story short, they're awesome. And if that's all you wanted to hear, you guys can leave now. But if you want to hear about all the upgrades, stick around. So I've got to test them out for the last couple months. I got to go this spring with Anthony to British Columbia, shoot some photos and videos and some content for Sig, and put hands on these guys back then and really get to test them out. And then, lucky for me, they sent me my own pair a couple months ago, and I really got to test them out and get some more content for them. I ran these guys for some 3D tournaments and the state shoot, which I won. And I got to take them down to Utah and look for giant limited entry bulls down there for Jess's hunt that she's got coming up here in a few days. And then I got to go to Wyoming and look for some more elk there, general scouting, in the truck, in the side-by-side, a little bit of everything. So last 2 months, they've got some heavy use. They've got sap smeared on them. They've been dropped. They've been kicked. They've been left in the backpack and the side-by-side. They still work great. So I've only had them for about 2 months, to be fair. But we have been running the old version for a long time. We haven't been able to break those ones yet either. This is what Jess runs on a day-to-day basis. It's essentially, this is the old version. This is the second generation version. And I'm going to use these to kind of show you what they've changed on this third generation. We're kind of going over the specs of the new ones. These are the 14 power binos. They come in 16 and 18 power as well, which I think is all. I really like the 14 power. They didn't seem too tight when I was looking through them, looking across the hillside. Even at closer distances, they didn't seem too like a narrow field of view like you see with maybe like some handheld 15s or something. I like the 14s. These are the 16s that I know Jess really likes. And I think when she gets a pair, she'll probably get 16s again. There's obviously going to be a weight increase just for size in general. These are about 14 ounces heavier than these guys here. And there's a few reasons for that. But the other thing I wanted to mention is they are about 8 or 9 ounces lighter than the 15 power Zulu 10s. So in like the grand scheme of things of binos in general, they're still stupid light for what they are. Even with the technology on the inside, they're still light. They're not like a heavy brick or anything like that. Another thing I want to talk about real quick, just so you can kind of have a size reference of how big these things are. This is a medium Kafaru bino harness, and they fit perfect. I'll throw a picture up on the screen too for a little bit other size. But they fit, like, especially this bino harness, the way this is shaped, and the way this is shaped. They fit really nice in that bino harness. But not a sales pitch for this bino harness, but just so you can kind of get an idea of how big these things are. I don't have to collapse the eye cups to make them fit. I can leave them all the way out, and that fits nicely. So, yeah. The upgrades they made from this year, as you can see, they've got these 2 wings on either side. There's dual battery compartments. They did that for a couple reasons. One, now you have dual batteries. You got more battery, so they should last longer. The specs that Sig is sending out is 40 hours of life on the 2 batteries, and they're just normal AA's. They're not lithium. They actually say don't use lithium, so just note that in case you get yourself a pair. And they changed that from this one. As you can see, it has a single battery compartment on the bottom. So the other reason they did that was grip. It kind of more ergonomically fits in your hand. This didn't bother me at all. They felt a little small, but it is what it is. But this does feel really nice, and they feel really comfortable. They're easy to hang on to. I liked resting my fingers here when I was kind of resting on my knees. But yeah, they're a comfortable bino to hold if that's a big deal for you. The other upgrades you're going to notice pretty quick is on these guys. These are 42 millimeter objective lens, and this is 50 millimeter objective lens. Something they were hearing back from these is the feedback they were getting back from the second generation was they were feeling kind of dark in the low light situations. They weren't getting enough light transmission for people. So they did a couple things to make that better. They changed to 50 millimeter glass on the end here, which is obviously going to allow more light in. They upgraded the glass inside the binos into a redesigned system. And then the other thing is they increased the coatings on they made the coatings on the glass themselves better. I am not going to act like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the coatings and the glass and all that good stuff. I just know I was told they made it better, and you can see it. I glass for them dusk till dawn, or sorry, dawn till dusk. Dawn, yeah, that's right, dawn till dusk. I glassed dawn till dusk many, many days, and go into the very low light situations. When I was in Utah, I was actually carrying my 10x42s and my tripod and these. We didn't go on any major hikes, so the heavier weight didn't bother me because I really wanted to put them side by side with like the 10x42s. And these guys, like which would I prefer, glassing off a tripod or these? I really like glassing off these. And when it got down to the low light and looking for bulls, I couldn't discern a difference between the 10x42 light transmission and the light transmission between these guys, which I think is incredible because I could definitely tell a difference on these ones. These definitely got darker faster. If you want to put a number to it, I was told that it's a 10% more light transmission than these guys right here. The other big increase they made is on these guys. If on the second generation, if you turn these on, off, and then on again, you get that little orange light, and that indicates that you're on target mode. So if you're on the green light, you're in scan mode. And basically what that means is, well, kind of exactly what it says. As you're scanning, the binos move smoothly and then when you find, say, you go, I think that's a deer, and then you turn it off and turn it back on again, it turns it into target mode, so it locks onto that spot. So as you move, it tries to hold exactly where you're looking. These guys here, they did away with the on and off part. They made the brain on the inside smart enough to do it for you. So basically, you can scan, 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 you stop, and it knows that you stopped, and so it turns itself into target mode. You continue to scan, it releases you from target mode and goes back into scan mode. So there's no more turning off and on and off again, which is pretty dang cool, and it works really, really well. I'm going to throw a couple videos up here to show you kind of like, I threw a phone scope on these guys, and I'm going to show a couple videos of off and on. I found some bulls at like 4 miles away, and I was turning them on and off, and you can't, I mean, the handshake is insane, you know, from free-handing phone scoping binos. If you ever tried to do that before, it's a nightmare. You have to rest them on something, otherwise you're never going to see what you're looking at through your phone. It's just too shaky. But I was free-handing phone scoping these things, freehand phone scoping bears in BC, elk in Wyoming, and you can see like first person what the handshake is, and then how it slows down to almost like you're on a tripod. When you're sitting down and you have your elbows on your knees with these guys, it's almost like exactly on a tripod. They're insane. If you've never looked through a pair of these, try to get your hands on, even if you can get your pair on the second generation, get your hands on a pair and look through them. It's freaking wild. I think they called them the oh shit binos for a while, because every time you pick them up to your face for the first time, you turn them on, you say oh shit. The last thing on the internals that I noticed is they reduced the glare from the sun. I know people, and I noticed it a little bit, not much with these guys, but there was a little bit of sun glare coming into these binos, which, you know, when you're looking into the sun, you're going to get no matter what. They made it better with the glass coatings and actually tinting parts of the inside of the outside of the glass to reduce the glare. I think it worked. I didn't really notice it with these ones. It didn't bother me, or I wasn't glassing into the sun, and so I don't really have anything more to say about that other than it is an upgrade they made, but I don't know. I know they're going to come out with a tripod mount for this guy, so you can actually mount this to a tripod if you have a tripod anyways, which I know I'm going to have a tripod no matter what. One, because I'm always carrying a spotting scope. I always have a spotting scope, because if I see something that might be, I want to zoom into that sucker to 50 power, whatever the power is. I want to zoom into that sucker, and I want to know if it's a deer, an elk, or if I have to hike 800 yards closer and take another look at a different angle or something like that. I want to know. But instead of walking, I use the glass. So I'm always going to have a tripod no matter what, and I'm always going to have that spotting scope. And I have cameras, so I'm always going to have a tripod because I have cameras. So for me, it's not going to take the tripod away, but I think for a lot of people it probably could. If you don't carry a tripod and you don't carry a spotting scope and you just carry the tripod just to put your binos on, you could probably leave those binos and that tripod at home and rock these just off your knees and save that 2 pounds that you're carrying on the side of your bag and not bring that tripod anymore. That's a pretty big plus in my book. For me, it's not going to change that for me, but for some people I think it could. other than that, I think I hit all the wickets that I wanted to hear, or I wanted to show. Yeah. Like and subscribe, guys, if you like that review. Seemed like it got a little long, a little rambly, and if it did, I'm sorry. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, wonder, something I missed, something I didn't talk about, let me know. I'll get back to you. I like to get back to comments and help where I can. So, peace. I don't know.